I want to talk some more about um, the importance of self-love. And I know I seem like a broken record stuck on this, but when you consider how many years we have all endured being told not to love yourself, that is selfish and egoic, how many years do you think it might take to reverse that with messages like this to encourage you to self-love? The irony is, the thing that tells you that loving yourself is selfish is your ego. You know, your ego is the biggest liar and deceiver. It's not really looking out for your good. Not really. And it's that father of lies that was a liar from the beginning when it was formed. So anyways, I have to talk about self-love and why this is important. And maybe you should tell your ego to shut up and not accuse you of selfishness. Self-love. In fact, by the way, egoic self-love is not self-love. It's a pseudo self-love. It's a selfishness that masks actually how much you despise yourself, and you're masking it with all kinds of activities and behavior because you don't self-love. That's why your ego is so big. But let's talk about self-love. We're all deprived. All of humanity is deprived of the love that we deserve. And it's often circumstantial, and it's certainly not done on purpose. It's unconscious because we have had generations of humanity living in an unconscious state, just basically running on autopilot and going through the motions just to survive. And so love often came up short in our lives, and we ended up with a shortage of love. But because there was such a shortage, our ego mind, our reasoning mind, had to find a reason of why that is. And usually the reason that our subconscious mind would tell us is that we are undeserving, that we are expecting too much, and that we shouldn't be loved that much, that we should not expect to be loved in the measure that we first anticipated and expected. And so we have told ourselves a story. Our ego has told ourselves a story that you really don't deserve that much love, and you really shouldn't be asking for that much love. It helped us to get by, but it hasn't helped the situation that we are love-deprived beings. And love is the number one energy and frequency and ingredient to a happy life. And because externally of us, there's so little of it, and it's certainly not consistent, because it is unreasonable to expect the people around us, who themselves are depleted of love, to fill our cup. There just is not enough to go around. And this is why it is absolutely necessary, vital, and essential that we learn to give ourselves the love and nurture that we deserve and that we need. but that we cannot expect to get from someone else. Our happiness depends on it. Our health depends on it. Our wellness depends on it. Happy people have a bubbly energy to them. I know it of myself. Since loving myself, and I mean that at the deepest level of my soul, loving myself at the soul level, and I am doing it at the spiritual level in equating myself with divinity, and I lavish myself with the emotional and psychological and spiritual love that previously I had given to God. Again, you notice I had given it away to a higher entity separate from myself. So I gave my power and my love away. But now I'm giving it to myself, and it has changed my life. I have become a consistently happy, contented, joyful, joy-filled person. And a joy-filled person, like I said, is of a bubbly nature, bubbly energy. And people like that energy and they want to be around it. And certainly your own body likes to be in that energy. And so the result of you being happy, you being fulfilled emotionally, psychologically, will have a direct impact on your physical body. Nothing about that is egoic. In fact, I think ego is jealous. And I even give my ego a little love, because I try to integrate all parts of me, all those 5 parts I mentioned in the previous video. So, since the world around us cannot give us what we need, and not even Jesus and God can give it to us in that measure, because we receive God's love at a mental level, mostly. But it still doesn't nurture our soul, our self-image. We still, while we appreciate God's love or Jesus' love, we still don't have a very high esteem about ourselves. And that is at a subconscious level that I'm trying to bring awareness to here. This is why I say you must love yourself more than you love God in order to integrate and fill that layer as well. You must become absolutely excited about yourself as you see yourself in the divine light that you are, in the oneness with God that you are. In loving yourself, you are loving God, because in oneness there is no God out there. You are that very essence, that very substance that we call God. You are a manifestation of that. And in showering yourself in this divine love, in the devotion that we're prone to give to God, if you give it to yourself, you become such a magnificent whole being, and you become a direct reflection of the love of God. It's no longer a second-hand kind of love. You become that love of God. You are that love of God. Does this make sense? Can we cut out the middleman and make it all about us, our divine self, God's self? There is no distinction between you and God. Bring it all within yourself, and you're going to become the most fulfilled, full, abundant soul, mind, spirit, and body. Truly integrating all the fullness of God in your being. Love yourself with all your strength, body, mind, and heart. Change that commandment and apply it to the God that you are, the God essence that you are. And it'll make a huge difference. At least it has done that in my life. If you bring it all into the one, love yourself. Love yourself. Ego doesn't know what I'm talking about, but love your soul. Love your soul with the love that you love God with, because you are worthy. You are worthy of such love. And you become a full spring, a full wellspring of water of life. Just like Jesus said, you'll never have to go to a well external of yourself to draw water. You'll never be thirsty.